2024 was a huge year for reimagining safety and the year that this podcast, Conversations for the People, started. And I just got back from Atlanta, where we had our 70th community screening as part of the Atlanta Reimagining Safety Festival. I got a lot to talk about. I'm going to recap 2024, so stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations for the People with Matthew Solomon. I'm Matthew Solomon, and I'm recording this at the end of 2024. It's the last couple days of the year. It's been a really big year for the film Reimagining Safety. We were released on streaming services in February, March, officially. We've had 38 screenings across the country. Been in 46 cities, 70 screenings total, 38 this year. Over 4,000 people have attended events. In 2024, it was around 2,000 people, a little over 2,000 people. So, and we're still going. And then I started Conversations for the People to keep these conversations going and to keep people informed and to interview some amazing folks who have insight and experience into what social change and transformation and community really looks like in action. Like, these aren't abstract ideas or thoughts or, imaginings, right? These are actually things that work. And so if you've been tuning in, I hope that you've been getting a lot out of those conversations. And so, like I said, we just had the Atlanta screening about a week or so ago. Shout out to Reverend Kiana Jones Moore, who is one of the pastors at the Park Avenue Baptist Church, who she and I have, she hosted the first Atlanta screening in 2023. She was on the panel at the Newark Reimagining Safety Festival, where she was wearing this shirt. She was wearing that shirt, and I was like, I need one of those. And so she made me one, and I'm loving wearing it and honored to be wearing it. For those of you who are listening and not watching, it's a Stop Cop City shirt that has a Ghostbusters logo, but instead of a Ghostbuster, it's a pig. So Stop Cop City. Atlanta was amazing. We had 50 plus people present. There were several musical artists. Shout out to Thais, whose solo project Tardia performed. Penelope French performed. River Michael performed. There were a couple other guest artists that showed up. In addition to Reverend Kiana, shout out to Christina Kittle, who helped organize and put everything together and is part of LDF, Legal Defense Fund in Atlanta. Had amazing guests there. Belkis Tehran was present and spoke about her healing center. Belkis is the mother of Manny Tortuguita Tehran, who was murdered. They were the forest protector that was murdered by Atlanta police. During the early days of the Stop Cop City movement. So Belkis was there, and I met her before, always honored to be in her presence. There were some other impacted families. Noelle Adams, who I've had on the show, was present and spoke about the culpability app. We were supported by Strike Black, which is doing amazing work in Atlanta, and the Atlanta Justice Alliance. There, I believe, were some folks from PAD, which is the Police Alternative Community Responders, were there. And then we showed the film, 70th screening of the film, and then instead of a panel, Reverend Kiana moderated a community discussion where everybody participated and exchanged ideas. And we had on the walls, pieces of paper with, what does community safety mean to you? And people wrote all kinds of things, whether it was housing, mutual aid, libraries, um, knowing your neighbor, things like that. And it was a really moving and inspiring conversation. And when I tell you that, traveling is hard, and uh, being in the spaces, there's a lot of trauma and violence people have been subjected to. But when I tell you, it's so heart opening and inspiring and um, loving being in community with folks. I can't even put it into words. Like I get choked up thinking about it and talking about it, and it's a beautiful thing. And for me, it's something that has really helped restore my faith in humanity, um, because there are people who care about people, and they are finding ways to work together and take care of one another. So, uh, loved that the 70th screening was in Atlanta. Loved the support from the community, and I can't wait to go back and be back and all of that. 2024 started off with a screening in Sacramento, hosted by the Anti-Police Terror Project in Sacramento. So shout out to Kian Bliss, who organized all of that. That was our first screening of the year. Then we were at UCLA, Empire State College, I'm sorry, Empire State University in New York, had a big screening there. And then San Antonio with Act for Essay. And I interviewed recently um, Ananda Thomas, who's the founder of Act for Essay. Like, she hosted the screening there. We had a great time. She Act for Essay organized the night before the screening. They took us out to a rage room as a community uh, experience, being together. So we went to this rage room and broke stuff, took, sledgehammers to cars, spray painted. Some of the folks from Mono Amiga came. I don't know if it's up or down. I think it's up from San Marcos, Texas. Um, Shout out to Sam Benavides, who I also have interviewed on the show, who was there, and we had a great time. And there was a burrito stand inside the rage room, and the dude at the burrito stand had a hat that said LBC. So I'm like, "Are you from Long Beach?" Because I'm from LA and LBC is Long Beach. And he's like, "Yeah, are you?" And so we started talking. Turns out he's from Long Beach, California, and we knew some of the same people. And so we hung out, and there were some like really amazing burritos that I had, and that was fun. After that, had our second Philadelphia screening, hosted by Seth Anderson Oberman of Labor for Black Lives, and he's with Reclaim Philadelphia now. Had an amazing time in Philly. Shout out to my dear friend and former classmate Amanda, who was there. And then the first of several Newark, New Jersey screenings with the Office of Violence Prevention, hosted by Deputy Mayor Keisha Uri, excuse me. And so we screened with the Office of Violence Prevention, which is a group of community responders who go out into the communities instead of the cops. They're doing amazing work there. So had a couple screenings there. Rider University, Indiana University, and I'm actually going to be back at Indiana University on February 19th as part of uh, a symposium. They're going to be screening the film on February 19th, and then there's a whole one-day event on February 20th. They have an amazing Black history film archive there that it's incredible. Every film, every Black film ever made, there's like movie posters and projectors and cameras and equipment. I was like, yo, I want to spend a weekend here. And um, shout out to those folks there. They were like, yeah, come back anytime. So I'm going to be back and I'm going to spend some time there. Um, Had a virtual screening with PAL Perspective, which is a group that meets on Thursday nights to watch movies about Palestine and um, you know, create support for Palestinian liberation and the end to the genocide. And so they screened Reimagining Safety, and um, shout out to all of them. Remember Institute, which is a community that I'm a part of, along with Nikki Black and um, Reverend Bridge Feltis, who's the founder, hosted a virtual screening there. USC, University of Southern California, National Lawyers Guild, hosted a screening. And then in March, we were in Portland, Oregon for the Policing Justice exhibition. So they had a huge art exhibit, which was amazing. And as part of that month long exhibition, they did film screenings. And so they screened Reimagining Safety. I believe it was the opening night. I think it was the opening night at this famous old theater in Portland where they play Rocky Horror Picture Show on Saturdays at midnight. So Reimagining Safety was on the marquee with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I was like, that's awesome. This Gen Xer is very happy right now. So shout out to all of them. That was an amazing experience. Alex Vitale, who's in the film, was in Portland for that and was part of the panel and did a presentation. I think it was the next day or the day after. There was an Abolitionist Visions Summit hosted by the California Faculty Association in Sacramento that hosted a screening. Did a couple screenings at Cal State LA with their criminology department. Washington State, my comrades, good friends in Washington State with the Black Panther Party, the National Panther Party, East Side for All, Stop the Sweeps, Tacoma 360, 50. I forget which number. I apologize. Desiree, who was running for city council. We did 4 screenings in 4 days in Washington State and went from Redmond to Bellingham to Olympia to Tacoma, and it was awesome. And one of the screenings was at Western Washington University with Watcom Peace and Justice. Had a packed house there on campus. Really amazing. And I'm going to be back in May at UW Tacoma. We're doing a screening May 8th. And then the Black Panther Party is hosting a Seattle screening on May 9th. So excited for that. Always excited to be there with all of them. We did a Rutgers University screening, had a screening in Boston, Massachusetts, which was fantastic. That was really cool because we did the screening. There wasn't a panel, but they broke us off into groups where each table had a social challenge that we as a community at each table got to brainstorm on how we would address it and what we would address it. And so really seeing community and solutions in action was awesome. Denton, Texas, there was a screening. Denver, Colorado in July with the Denver Public Safety Task Force. This was a huge event. The task force, there were about 100 people there, a little over 100 people. Chief of police ended up coming. There were a lot of elected officials, city council members. Shout out to Sarah Parody and Elizabeth Epps and Lisa Calderon. And I know there were Walsh, the new district attorney, was there. John Walsh, sorry. Amazing event, community, several organizations, participated. And when I was there, Becca Clark Seaver, who I've become friends with, who's in the public defender's office, was like, you need to go to Shop It Matter. Check out that bookstore. It's a community bookstore. You're going to love it. I walked in. It was like, oh my God, this is an amazing bookstore. It's all of these books on social change, liberation, So all of the good things. And I met the owners who have an art, graphic art, graphic design um, company. They do graphic design in addition to the bookstore. Met them, talked to them, and then we scheduled a screening together, which we had a couple months ago at this point. So went back to Denver for another screening, and then I was in Denver two more times and Colorado Springs a few weeks ago for three screenings back to back to back. Colorado Springs at Colorado College with oh man, it was uh, Stop Cop City, Colorado Springs. Um, oh man, I'm drawing a blank on the other organization, the Prison Abolition Project, Colorado Springs, and we had about 70 people, mostly college students, activists in the room, and it was awesome. And I was so moved and had so much fun, and the panel was amazing. The conversation, the people, like really, really cool. And then the next night we had the Denver Council PTSA. We did a screening at Manual High School in Denver. And again, awesome screening. I just did a Q&A. We didn't have a panel, but it was very insightful. The participants, in the audience were very engaged. And then the next day, uh, the we had an event that was for uh, raising funds, clothing, the free haircuts and things for the unhoused community. Um, that was amazing. Natasha Bar Shalom organized and hosted that. Uh, really incredible. And then and then we did Atlanta for number 70. And I know I'm missing some. Oh, New York City, we're at the Mazeless Documentary Center again. We had a screening in Pittsburgh. That was amazing. I loved traveling around Pittsburgh and meeting people there, and the event was awesome. And then there was a screening in Detroit with General Strike US Detroit, which I was bummed I couldn't attend. That's the only one I couldn't attend because we had COVID going through the house. But shout out to all of them. I'm hoping to go back to Denver, to be in Denver. And then I'm sorry, Detroit. And then Exploits of Faith was the event in Denver that Natasha was hosting. So I wanted to, get that correct. And then Atlanta. And it's been an incredible whirlwind. Again, the film is on streaming services on Amazon, Tubi, YouTube, and Google Play. There's educational distribution through Good Docs, which has merged with Sage Publishing. So if you're an educator, you can license the film through there, which is huge. And then we have a bunch more screenings set up already for 2025. I already mentioned Tacoma and Seattle. We're going to be in Santa Cruz, California on March 1st. I'm going back to Indiana University, as I mentioned, on February 19th. Got a couple more Denver screenings in February. And our first screening of 2025 will be at Midnight Books in Huntington Park, Los Angeles on January 24th. So head over to reimaginingsafetymovie.com. Subscribe there so you can get updates. Follow us on Instagram, Reimagining Safety Movie. Stay tuned. Keep listening. Thank you for listening and watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to Conversations for the People. This is really about the collective and being together, working together, creating a future together where everyone is taken care of. And we're going to need each other, especially with the inauguration coming up and all of that. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning into Conversations for the People. And until next time, all power to the people.
Have you ever wondered what public safety could look like if we reimagined it from the ground up? Watch Reimagining Safety, a powerful documentary that explores solutions rooted in dignity, care, and justice. Visit reimaginingsafetymovie.com and join the movement to build a safer, more equitable future for everyone.